Africa recharge Lake Chad. Nigeria appeals to world powers. Federal government reassures the citizenry it will not sign treaties that can mortgage Nigeria's future.
The forms submitted by candidates, are there details in the forms that you think are inaccurate? Citizens can actually, while they are convinced, they are initiate legal action.
INEC releases list of candidates for 2019 general elections. Plus, Kaduna residents go indoors again as state government reimposes curfew. Good evening and thanks for joining us on NTA Network News. I'm Elizabeth Stober in Abuja. Reading with me tonight is Elizabeth Omori in Lagos. Nigeria says the interbasin water transfer towards recharging the receding Lake Chad is the greatest investment Europe and America can make now to genuinely help the African continent. President Muhammadu Buhari stated this while granting audience to the chairman of the African Union, Musa Faki Mahamat. State House correspondent Adam Sambu reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari noted that Lake Chad, which provided a means of livelihood to millions of people in countries like Chad, Cameroon, Niger and Nigeria, has now been reduced to 10% of its original size due to the impact of climate change. He said people who depended on the lake for, among others, fishing, farming and animal husbandry have been thrown into dire straits. This, the president said, is one of the reasons youth now dare the Sahara Desert and the Mediterranean Sea to seek greener pastures in Europe. The president, however, insists that helping to recharge Lake Chad by the international community will go a long way in curbing irregular migration. As he puts it, at all international fora, we emphasize the matter of Lake Chad. We also talk about the influx of small arms from the Sahel, which worsens the security situation between herders and stagnant farmers. We will keep the issue on the front burner. President Buhari pledged that Nigeria, whose size and resources place a lot of responsibilities on her shoulders, will continue to fulfill her obligations to the African Union. The African Union chairperson, Musa Faki Mahamat, was emphatic that President Muhammadu Buhari's leadership is not only good for Nigeria and the African Union, but Africa in general. The next AU summit, he said, will look into, among others, the reform of the African Union Commission, proper positioning of the African Union and Africa in the world, single air transport market, as well as the African Continental Free Trade Area. The chairperson commended Nigeria for playing major roles towards enhancing peace in countries like Guinea-Bissau, Togo, Liberia, Mali, and Sierra Leone. As he puts it, Nigeria is the engine of Africa politically and economically, as well as in the area of peace and security. Without her, Agenda 2063 cannot be accomplished. Mr. Mahamat said Nigeria is indeed worthy of being followed, and the African Union will always rely on her wisdom to fulfill the tasks ahead. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Still on the AU chairperson's visit, for Africa to surmount the developmental and security challenges bedeviling the continent, good governance has to be placed on the front burner. This was the thrust of a lecture delivered by the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Musa Faki Mahamat, at the National Defense College, Abuja. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello has details.
Africa without Nigeria is weak. Africa with Nigeria is strong.
Considering that governance, institutions and practices that were bequeathed to a majority of African states at independence were for the most part ill-adapted to the African realities and the continent's development, Africa has therefore been grappling with development and security issues.
Today's topic seeks to posit this quest on the tripod of untouched democratic values, good governance, and enhanced integration in the continent.
We have chosen this topic with a clear recognition of some of the objectives and our expectations. First is the recognition of the budding democratic dispensation which most parts of Africa have embraced in a positive manner, particularly within the past 30 years after the end of the Cold War.
With the theme Good Governance and National Security, Strategic Options for African Union, the lecture is geared towards inculcating sterling leadership qualities on the participants. From the National Defense College in Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
In the meantime, Nigeria has strongly canvassed the need for Africa's Space Center to be located on our shores. Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbomosho, made the case when he received the African Union panel for the assessment of selected African countries to host the African Space Center. Justin Bemui reports.
The minister was emphatic that Nigeria deserves to host the center, considering its pioneering role in space exploration, its potential and resources, as well as its financial contribution to the African Union. He reminded the panel that Nigeria had made giant strides in space development and had invested massively in capacity building of space professionals and ready to share its technical know-how with other African countries. Dr. Onu assured the panel of the resolve of the Nigerian government to collaborate in achieving the aim of hosting the space agency to explore the vast untapped potential of space technology.
We believe that Nigeria will add value if we are given the opportunity, if you make a strong recommendation for us in this regard. I think it's also important our readiness to work with other African countries.
We have criteria which has been...
The panel is to assess Nigeria's application to host the African Space Center and will also inspect facilities on ground. Justin Bemui, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has restated the commitment of his administration towards securing Nigeria and providing critical infrastructure as a deliberate effort aimed at sustaining the flourishing business and investments for prosperity. This was while receiving members of various trade associations from across Nigeria on a solidarity visit. State House correspondent Adam Sumbo reports.
Members of the Traders Association under the auspices of Nigerian Traders for President Muhammadu Buhari are here in the State House to show appreciation for the unprecedented government investment in the trader as well as the trade value chains in the country for economic growth and development.
For the first time in the history of government and governance in Nigeria, this administration remembered traders. The jeep money, the market money, the trader money. You can see the vice president going into the markets, going to all nooks and crannies of even rural markets. The 10,000 naira handed into the hands of one rural trader there has a lot of significance in poverty reduction. And that alone has endeared Mr. President to us.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who welcomed the group's appreciation of government efforts at providing and improving critical infrastructure, especially roads and railways, to ease movement of goods and services, pledged to do much more towards ensuring that the country is safe and secure for everybody.
I assure you we will do our best because it is in the interest of the country to make sure that you feel very free to move across the country and that the lines of communication are secure. The more you get the opportunity to move around, employ people, and get your goods and services patronized, the better for everybody. That's why we are spending a lot of money to make sure the roads and the rail are functional. That will certainly get a lot of savings and save a lot of not only resources but lives.
The fight against corruption, he also said, will not only be sustained but reinvigorated in fulfillment of pre-election promises so that public assets can be utilized effectively for public good. The national coordinator of the Traders Association Paul Ikonne told the president that traders cannot thank him enough for the highly beneficial and impactful policies and programs instituted towards enhancing their economic well-being as well as that of the nation. Members of the association, he said, are particularly proud of the courageous manner with which the Buhari presidency is prosecuting the fight against corruption and the outstanding achievements being recorded, thereby restoring Nigeria's reputation within and outside the country.
We, the Nigerian traders, because of our confidence in you, are going to mobilize our members in all the 36 states, including Abuja, the FCT, for state-to-state town hall meetings in order to educate them on your achievements so far. We, the traders, are the real voters, and our vote will count in 2019.
I can assure you that preparatory to 2019, we are focused. We have a scorecard that is uncontestable, unbeatable, the sole basis upon which the Nigerian people would judge whether we have met their aspirations, whether we have tried in a modest way, in spite of limited resources, to be able to move this country out of recession and put it on the trajectory of growth and prosperity.
During the visit, the traders made some observations which include illegal seizure of goods by agents of government, harmonization of taxes and charges, and the need for timely completion of rail networks connecting south to north, north to east, and east to west, which the government promised to consider. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is in Tunis promoting government's social intervention program, specifically the homegrown school feeding program. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that Professor Osinbajo revealed that the Buhari administration intends to make the homegrown school feeding program the largest in Africa by the end of this year.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the school feeding program has been by all accounts a remarkable success. He explains that Nigeria took the decision to embark on a school feeding program as an important part of its human capital development agenda by tackling the broader issues of eradication of poverty, food and nutrition security, and increasing school enrollment.
Empirical data from a study that was done in 2000, as far back as 2009, on the effect of school feeding programs on primary school attendance in rural areas in Lagos State had shown even then that not only did school feeding improve enrollment and attendance, but it also increased the parents' income. So school feeding has certainly earned its place as a credible driver of human capital development.
The Vice President says at a cost of 19 cents per child per day, government is able to provide a balanced meal for over 9 million pupils in over 49,000 public primary schools in 26 states across Nigeria. Over $183 million, it says, has been invested so far in the program, while the program employs over 95,400 cooks and over 100,000 smallholder farmers linked to the program, supplying locally sourced ingredients.
But I think that the most important thing is that governments, especially our governments, must dedicate substantial parts of their budget to homegrown school feeding. There is nothing like commitments by the government itself through its own budgets, through its own resources, because that not only shows that not only shows the commitment, but it also ensures that the people themselves understand the reason and the need for the homegrown school feeding and for all of the other interventions in health and education.
The success of the program in a short time, he says, is due to factors such as unequivocal political will, transparency and accountability, good value for all participants in the value chain, multi-sectoral coordination, and strategic partnership with international donors. Jide Onifade, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari says Nigeria is too big and diverse to sign treaties and agreements blindly without fully understanding the consequences of such actions on the nation. The president made this declaration at an audience with representatives of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. State House correspondent Adam Musumbo reports.
Officials of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry were in the State House to formally commend the president for issuing series of executive orders now impacting positively on the business environment as well as promoting inclusive economy. For President Muhammadu Buhari, it was an opportunity to shine more light on his decision to inaugurate the Presidential Committee towards assessing the potential cost and impact of the agreement establishing the African Continental Free Trade Area for Nigeria. He told his guests that Nigeria is still assessing the impact of this agreement on its backward integration and import substitution policies, saying the provisions on rules of origin and transshipment were matters of serious concern.
Already some of the treaties we are party to have been significantly abused, resulting in massive smuggling, which has crippled many of our local industries and destroyed millions of jobs. As we invest heavily for the future, we also monitor the international business environment, which you will all agree has drastically changed in the 3 years we have been in government. These long-term investments' positive impact will be felt for generations to come.
On the issue of the gridlock in Apapa, Lagos, President Buhari acknowledged the situation as a major concern to all, explaining that work on Wharf Road is in progress and everything will be done to expedite the repair works at the Ijora Bridge without compromising quality.
Be rest assured that the completion of this project is a major priority for this administration. We have also directed the Nigerian Railway Corporation to also use their infrastructure in the ports to support the evacuation efforts, thereby further decongesting the area.
The President, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Babatunde Ruwase, described as fulfilling and reassuring the various executive orders issued on promoting the ease of doing business in the country, but stressed the need to improve the regulatory environment in the oil and gas industry.
BIP, the law that is there, that is going from executive to legislature, we need to pass it quickly because oil is being discovered all over the world as it's getting less important as revenue earner. So we are contending with other nations as investors' destination. We need to be very attractive.
Mr. Babatunde Ruwase also drew the attention of the President to the numerous abandoned federal government properties in Lagos, especially the economic waste they represent, and made a case for the properties to either be returned to the Lagos state government as original owner of the land or given out on lease to the private sector. President Muhammadu Buhari also granted audience to the Labor and Employment Minister, Dr. Chris Ngige, on the tension being generated in the land over the issue of minimum wage.
I have come here to consult the Vice President and Mr. President, which I have successfully done. And for a start on Monday, the Economic Management Team will meet, and governors are supposed to come from their states so that the federal government will brief them on what is on ground, and then we will see what they're able to say to us. On Monday, we believe we'll have very useful discussions with them before the tripartite committee will come and submit their report.
The minister said at the moment, no position has yet been taken by the federal government on the minimum wage. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. Time now to take a break to bring you some messages. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Traffic is terrible. What is your map saying?
Don't worry. The map says it will soon clear.
Driver! Hold! This bush woman. Madam, come on! See this whole matter you do, Baro! Shut up! Driver! Suck up! Okay. Get it! Driver! At the end, there's a T-junction. What? See? Then there's another road that follows again. Driver!
with Glow Augasi, enjoy 125% more data to get ahead. Dial *777#. The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Hello. Hi, Jenny. Can you supply 1,000 bottles of juice by noon?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, bye.
Hello.
One day, I go any store and say I want everything.
Jenny, auntie, please, I need a loan.
One day, anything I want,
hurry up.
Get it times 2. Someday, I'll be living.
Hello.
Sorry, me lower.
Clean that up.
Because I don't get the money, you downgrade me. Sorry, me lower.
The order is on the way.
Are you an entrepreneur looking for financing to grow a business? I have good news for you. Development Bank of Nigeria now provides sustainable financing through commercial banks, microfinance banks, and other financial institutions with repayment terms of up to 10 years. Please do remember, paying back your loan in good time will give you access to more loans.
Development Bank of Nigeria, financing sustainable growth.
The holidays are over, but the excitement is still on. Draw what you did in your holidays, and you stand a chance to win your dream holiday. Follow 3 simple steps to enter. Step 1, draw your holiday experience. Step 2, snap a picture. Step 3, send picture, name and address to the WhatsApp number 0902-588-8888. Hurry! Go grab your Indomie packs now. Offer valid till stocks last. Terms and conditions apply. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
This is to announce the 12th National Council on Environment with the theme Environment and Security in Nigeria, consolidating Nigeria's environment sector reforms towards sustainable development. Date, Monday 29th to Wednesday 31st October 2018. Venue, International Conference Center, The Dome, Akure, Ondo State. All state commissioners of environment in the 36 states and the FCT and their permanent secretaries, major stakeholders and development partners, as well as the general public are cordially invited. Lawrence Leon Alibo, permanent secretary, announcer.
Every new day deserves a great taste for a great start with Nescafe 3-in-1. It all starts with a Nescafe.
Your favorite Maggi star now wears a new look. Its great taste and quality still remain the same. With Maggi, every woman is a star.
So Clean, the detergent brand trusted by millions of Nigerians. For decades, its 30% concentrated formula has been trusted to wash faster, brighter, cleaner. So Clean with stain magnet technology. The advanced enzyme formula pulls trapped dirt out of fiber like a magnet. So Clean with stain magnet technology for even better stain removal.
Buhari can't wake me for death. As my matter be, it be like he say, person die, person God he can't wake am. Now so Buhari can't wake me from death. But I not get something when they go give you unless thank you. I did get change to make farm. Then he helped me house. The house when I did before, he dey link. Before I born 5 pikin. You know, I no get food when I go give them. That's why I share them. But now my pikin they near me. Someday with me now. No be like before. I happy. I thank Buhari. I no see am, but God go carry my go meet her where I dey.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Network News. Motorists plying Ogbomosho or Your Road have appealed to the federal government to expedite action on the dualization of the road to stem the tide of frequent fatal accidents on the road. They made the appeal while appreciating the federal government for quick intervention in fixing the failed portion that had left them stranded for days. Correspondent Fatai Adeloja has details.
Following the stranded cause of the good people of Oyo State at a town hall meeting held on Thursday, 25th October 2018, the federal government, through the Ministry of Power and Works, mobilized to site.
As many people they die here, then what we are begging government to look this road, please.
Some trailers has fallen down and the other ones fall for this side.
We and the contractors, we have been here since 6 a.m. in the morning, and in another 2 to 3 hours the road will be open for traffic.
This one we fix now for people to release the hold up, but tomorrow will be diversion and they can move like this and we can walk here free.
It will be recalled that there have been echoes of distress call from the people of Ogbomosho community in recent past. In the interim, while the caved portion of the road is being fixed, an alternative road is being created. In Ibadan, Fatai Adeloja, NTA News.
The federal government has signed a memorandum of understanding with Huawei Technologies Company to train 1,000 selected civil servants for the second phase of the partnership. Secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, who signed on behalf of the federal government, says the collaboration will enhance capacity of civil servants. Ahmed Ondas Ahmed reports.
In line with its corporate social responsibility initiative, partnership with Galazin Babu is engaged in building the capacity of senior civil servants in ICT as a way of improving productivity. Secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, says the partnership between the government and the company is part of the present administration's effort to make the private sector contribute to national development and empowerment of Nigerians.
The participants will be trained and empowered with basic ICT knowledge and skills so as to equip them with the capacity to handle the increasing demand for digital economy transformation, e-governance, and smart city management.
Working with the federal government and indeed the civil servants to provide training opportunities in ICT will go a long way in helping us to achieve one of our goals in our 2017-2020 strategy, civil service strategy reform.
We hope that by working together with the federal government, the ICT for Change initiative will help to equip civil servants with the necessary knowledge to face this great digital transformation.
Participants for the ICT for Change training program to hold in Lagos and Abuja respectively must not be above 55. Ahmed Ondas Ahmed, NTA News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has released names of presidential and National Assembly candidates for the 2019 general elections. Mia Ogidi reports.
The International Conference Center, Abuja, venue for the submission of presidential and National Assembly candidates, was very busy from the 10th and 18th of October 2018. At the end of the exercise, 89 political parties submitted candidates, and as required by the Electoral Act, 7 days after, INEC has published the details of candidates in all the local government area headquarters. So, NTA News visited Abuja Municipal Area Council AMAC office of INEC, and truly the details are here and prominently displayed, including President Muhammadu Buhari, Atiku Abubakar, Donald Duke, among others, making the presidential candidates list. INEC was specific on the number of candidates.
For presidential elections, 79 political parties have nominated candidates. For the Senate, we have a total of 1,803 candidates vying for 109 senatorial seats. 4,548 candidates vying for 360 federal constituencies. The forms submitted by candidates, are there details in the forms that you think are inaccurate? Citizens can actually, while they are convinced, they are initiate legal action.
112 days to the elections, that is 22 days more to full campaigns for presidential and National Assembly elections. What will be the fate of APC chapters in Zamfara?
INEC did not receive any submissions from the parastate.
Away from 2019 elections, INEC is to conduct by-elections into 2 federal constituencies, one in Kaduna, another in Bauchi State. Also one House of Assembly by-election in Cross River State. The INEC chairman has already directed all the resident electoral commissioners of the 3 states to hold stakeholders meeting, and the elections should be conducted latest before 17th of November 2018. Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
More on the political scene. Ahead of November 18 date for commencement of presidential campaigns, African Democratic Congress ADC has unveiled its presidential blueprint in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The 3-point blueprint unveiled by the African Democratic Congress ADC is anchored on peace, development and work. The party's presidential candidate, Dr. Obadiah Lafia, says Nigeria's destiny as a great nation is assured. On the party's membership of the Coalition of the United Political Parties, CUPP, working towards the emergence of a consensus presidential candidate, Obadiah Lafia expresses the hope that he will emerge victorious.
Without peace, we can achieve nothing. All else will be meaningless.
National Organizing Secretary of ADC and other speakers reassured members that the party remains united.
A group of people who never belonged to ADC, who doesn't have membership card of ADC, who said they are new ADC. That matter died off immediately.
There is no division, there is no function. We are all forging ahead in a positive direction.
They implored members to focus on issues that will further promote peace and unity among Nigerians. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has paid a surprise visit to Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosu at his Oke-Mosan office, Abeokuta. The brief meeting was at the instance of the former president, held behind closed doors. Chief Obasanjo refused to comment on the purpose of his visit when approached by journalists.
In the state, yes, sir. Governor is often making political development in the state too. At the moment, national. Yeah, we are on the way out.
The Buhari Media Organization has challenged Benue State Governor Samuel Otom to tell Nigerians what he has done with the Paris bailout funds and monthly federal allocations running into billions of naira within the last 3.5 years of his administration. This is contained in a reaction by the Buhari Media Organization to a statement credited to the governor on Benue people and the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari.
In a statement signed by the chairman, Buhari Media Organization, Niyi Akinshiju, in Abuja, the group noted that from Governor Otom's utterances, his failure in the provision of infrastructure to his people is beginning to manifest. The group said it is on record that the administration of Muhammadu Buhari has done more than enough for the people of Benue State. The organization listed the achievements of the present administration to include construction of local Weto Bridge over River Benue in Nasarawa and Benue State, patching of potholes, pavement strengthening, repairs of failed sections and general maintenance works along Makurdi-Nasarawa State border road, rehabilitation of 120-pole solar street lights on Katsina-Ala Bridge, as well as rehabilitation of street lights on Makurdi Bridge in Makurdi.
The task force of Operation Lafia Dole has destroyed a Boko Haram terrorist logistics base at Tumbung Sale in northern Borno State. The Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibukule Daramola, indicates that intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance mission conducted revealed the presence of Boko Haram terrorist vehicles and several fighters camouflaged under thick vegetation converging to launch attacks against ground troops. Accordingly, the Air Task Force detailed 2 Nigerian Air Force Alpha Jet aircraft supported by an ISR platform to attack the target area in multiple waves, resulting in neutralizing and destruction of the terrorists and their logistics. The Nigerian Air Force, working in synergy with ground forces, says it will continue to sustain the tempo of operations with a view to destroying all remnants of the terrorists in the fringes of the Lake Chad and other areas in northern Borno State. Still on security, socio-economic activities have again been paralyzed in Kaduna State following reimposition of 24-hour curfew in the metropolis and some neighboring communities. Mai Jama Adamu reports that the reimposition of the curfew is coming less than a day after it was relaxed from dusk to dawn.
The state woke up to the tragic news of the killing of Agwan Adra Wadara Galadima, who was abducted last week alongside his wife after his police orderly and palace guard were killed by the abductors. Suddenly, tension rose once more with reported threats to peace in some parts of the state.
We are pained and heartbroken that criminal elements have taken away from us a man who did his best for peace and harmony in our state.
This, according to the state government, necessitated the review of the curfew to 24 hours in order to forestall further breakdown of law and order. Markets, banks, offices, filling stations and restaurants are all closed, with only a few people caught far away from their homes seen on the street, among them Mohammed Sani, who could not resist his urge to speak to our crew. The curfew, he said, is a welcome measure given the tension. Places affected by the curfew are Kaduna Metropolis, Kaso Magani, Kajuru, Katari and Kachia. In Kaduna, Mai Jama Adamu.
In the continued efforts to ensure a wider spread of justice dispensation in Nigeria, the Federal Capital Territory Judiciary has opened an alternative dispute resolution center to encourage the resolution of cases away from litigation. The center is named after a former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Mohammed Lawal Wais. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo reports.
Justice Mohammed Lawal Wais is generally known as a doyen of justice dispensation and conflict resolution in Nigeria. So when the Federal Capital Territory Judiciary decided to remodel its multi-door courthouse into a modern state-of-the-art alternative dispute resolution center, Chief Judge of the FCT High Court, Justice Ishaq Bello, thought its ideals would best be represented by the naming of the center after Justice Mohammed Lawal Wais.
The FCT should have an international ADL center that befits the status of a capital territory. We are better to cite the center than where the disputes are.
And all personalities who attended the inauguration could not agree less.
Disputes are never resolved through the formal machinery that we all know.
The dedication we are here to witness is well deserved, having been in favor of a legal jurist by excellence that dedicated his life to dispute resolution.
It is expected that the center will provide resolution services for both commercial, civil, and social clients from across the country. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. We now join Elizabeth in Lagos for more reports. Over to you, Elizabeth.
Hello, Elizabeth. It's nice to see you and welcome to Lagos. The federal government has embraced innovative technologies in off-grid electricity solutions in resolving the country's power problems. This was demonstrated when Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo inaugurated the Sura Market Integrated Power Project. Dotun Ogunyemi reports that the project is aimed at supporting micro, small, medium enterprises for rapid economic growth.
Imagine getting 24 hours electricity to run your business in Nigeria. Well, if you thought this wasn't possible, think again. Sura Shopping Complex houses 1,047 shops, and there are over 700 generating sets here that are no longer needed, as for over 4 months, traders here have been enjoying constant electricity as part of the federal government's Energizing Economies initiative, implemented by the Rural Electrification Agency. Olayinka Odeshilo is one of many MSMEs who runs a business here.
The exhaust from gens around the Sura complex, we are off that, and the service has been very good.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the inauguration said the project is a result of the federal government's mini-grid policy.
The only way for us to grow our country is to give the hardworking people of our country the facilities to run their businesses, whether it is power or it is money, it is facilities, whichever one it is.
Designed as the first of many steps to promote renewable, clean and constant energy in Nigeria, the Sabongeri and Ariaria market in Kano and Abia states are set to follow.
Ariaria will be 37,000 shops. Sabongari will be 13,000 shops. Balogun, Ikori, Dugbe, and other markets across the country are waiting for this.
We're already in 9 universities constructing. We're not talking about it. We're constructing the power plants for those universities so they're off-grid like this place.
The initiative will reduce greenhouse carbon emissions annually by 25,000 metric tons while creating over 2,500 jobs and provide clean, safe and reliable electricity to over 80,000 shops and MSMEs across the country. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
As part of its corporate social responsibility and to improve the well-being of its host community, the West African Gas Pipeline Company WAPCO has organized a medical outreach for residents of Ajido community in Badagry local government area of Lagos. Joy Ken Abakboya has details.
Ajido is a community in Badagry that has over 5,000 residents from different parts of the country. One major challenge, according to residents, is access to health care. To help alleviate their plight, the West African Gas Pipeline Company Limited extended its hand of benevolence through this outreach. A team of medical experts carried out comprehensive eye checks, which included screenings for glaucoma and cataracts. Blood sugar level and blood pressure tests were also performed.
In every sense, Ajido is the home of WAPCO, and this is one of the things that management wants to do, in a sense, to give back to the community. We just want to provide health care. We got access to health care. The intentions for people that need it but who cannot afford it.
Traditional ruler of Ajido and beneficiaries say the initiative by WAPCO is worth emulating.
It will improve their health status because it's free. We also be a added advantage for our people to be going to the hospital.
This thing what they do, I like it so much.
At the end of the day, sight correction glasses and drugs were given to those who required them, while referrals were made for further diagnosis and treatments.
It gives me, say if I want to read, I should put it in my eyes to read.
The WAPCO health team also visited Imeke and Torilovi communities where similar screenings were performed. The West African Gas Pipeline Company Limited is a joint venture between public and private sector companies from Nigeria, Benin, Togo and Ghana. It currently has an office in Ajido, Badagry. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakoya, NTA News.
Financial expert describes federal government's 3.01% GDP growth projection of 2019 as a step in the right direction, just as the equities market closed Friday's trading in the green. Let's now join Abolade Salami for details of these and more in our business news segment.
Glad to have you join us on the business news segment. The federal government recently revealed that government's 2019 to 2021 medium-term expenditure framework is projected at 3.01% GDP growth in 2019. Analysts say with oil production volume projected at 2.3 million barrels per day and a 9.8% inflation outlook in 2019, the economy will retain its trajectory growth.
The truth is we're under-leveraged, and this is not a position a lot of people share, but at this point in time, we need to grow, and we need to grow fast. We don't have enough. We don't have the money, and if we are borrowing to put into productive assets that improve productivity, increase activity, increase employment, so that if you look at what it throws out on the back end, increased productivity and increased employment means increased tax revenue to the government, and more importantly, a better life for Nigeria.
In the meantime, the need to build quality standardization in the oil and gas production towards addressing the challenges of gas upstream and downstream regulation, analysts say will help promote direct foreign investment in the sector.
The impact on the economy of Nigeria in the face of reduced crude oil price, and the fact that we also brought out a paper on Nigeria having to look more into the use we put to our crude oil that we have exploited.
And now to equities, as commercial banks begin to release their third quarter earnings results, the NSE banking index month-to-month dropped to 1.2%.
Volume of transaction in the market. More so, it has helped in terms of financial inclusion. Proud to fix protocol in the market before the Nigerian Stock Exchange switched over to fix. The volume of transaction and in the efficiency of trades in the market wasn't as significant as we can see now. But with that emergence of fix, a lot of investors now have confidence in the market.
Graphic details of how stocks were traded on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange today. Stock Market Report concludes business news segment. The news continues shortly. Please stay with us.
Niger. It's a beautiful day.
And now it's time for some amazing music.
Don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back.
Where is it?
What are you searching for?
With Glow Yakata, for every recharge, they'll give you 22 times the amount to call all the networks.
What? So if I load 100 Naira, they will give me 2,200 Naira?
Exactly! And that's not all. They are also giving up to 6 gigabytes of data every month for 6 whole months.
Wow! That's incredible!
Yes!
Are you sure? 22 times on every recharge?
Yup.
Found it! Found it! That's it!
Yes!
Glow Yakata. Get up to 6 gigabytes of data every month for 6 months and 2,200 Naira bonus for every 100 Naira recharge. The call all networks where talkers and browsers live.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Psst, you in the air-conditioned office with the itchy throat. Strepsils. Girl in the spotlight with the raspy throat. Strepsils. You in the pollution. Yes, you. Dry throat. Strepsils. Hello in the downpour with the scratchy throat. Take Strepsils.
Strepsils, with its soothing medicinal ingredients, will heal the harm done to your throat from external factors.
Strepsils. Strepsils.
Strepsils, for a dry, itchy, raspy, scratchy throat.
To the outer framers, the hat tippers, the fringe goers, you don't need to hide anymore. Try Dettol Even Tone. It cleans and helps to reduce the appearance of blemishes caused by oil, dirt and germs, giving your skin a healthy feel for an even better you. Dettol. Be 100% sure.
Dettol soap is now also available for 100 naira.
Nigeria we hail. Those who divide our people are getting better at their game. Yet, now we did do ourselves pass. Lecturer they oppress student them. Bus driver they show passenger where. Local government people are terrifying local government people. Campaign people will come and go. Grammar people will remain. So now, many people have become Uncle Thomases, unwilling to desire or work for a better nation. We must continue to push and believe, and small, our prayers will be answered. This education you go get down. These children, them go grow and prosper. And this business, it not go spoil for your hand, because Union Bank understands what it means to push through challenges, and together we go clear every doubt when they are our way. Don't be an Uncle Thomas. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
Darling, what's the matter? It's your birthday. Guests are already waiting at the pool.
It's headache, cold, pains all over my body.
Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet contains powerful ingredients specially prepared to bring you fast relief from headache, body ache, cough, flu, cold, and fever. Baby, how are you feeling now?
Wow, I feel great thanks to Cold Time Tablet.
Cold Time Tablet also available with syrup for children. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, a quality product from Embassy Pharmaceutical and Chemicals Limited. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, your visa to healthy.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's now join Caleb in Jos for more reports. Over to you, Caleb.
Has brought the army closer to rounding up the culprits and getting the body of the general. This was disclosed at a press briefing by the General Officer commanding 3 Division, Major General Benson Akinro-Luyo. Renred Sylvanus Lord has more.
5 weeks into the search for the missing general, the GOC 3D said further investigation has led to the discovery of a shallow grave where the general's body is said to be buried, but later exhumed to an unknown destination. He said information gotten from suspects in custody has proven that the 8 wanted persons are culpable in the killing of the senior army officer.
A specialist in preservation of corpse was contracted. The specialist assisted in exhuming his corpse from a shallow grave to somewhere else. 4 different sources, not known to each other, at various times took us to the opened shallow grave where the senior officer was earlier buried, but subsequently removed. Furthermore, sniffer dogs that had been cautioned with the personal effect of the senior officer led us to the same open grave. That was the only grave we were led to by different people and the sniffer dogs.
The Commander Search and Rescue, Brigadier General Mohammed Umar, thereafter led the press through a 10-minute winding path to the site where the said general's body was allegedly buried. Earlier, relations of the missing owners of the highest boss and Red Rover dug out of the mining pond had an interaction with journalists where they called for similar investigation to be done for their family members. In Jos, Renred Sylvanus Lot, NTA News.
Elizabeth, it's back to you.
Now, the people of Ogun State have urged the state government to put necessary machinery in place in the preparation of people-oriented 2019 state budget. This was the thrust of contributions of participants at a town hall meeting on the 2019 budget organized by the Ogun State government. Lekan Agbondi reports.
The 2019 annual budget town hall meeting is the 8th, signaling the final strides of the present administration as it goes home in its rebuilding mission. It afforded representatives of various groups, communities, associations, professionals and traditional rulers the opportunity to make input by way of suggestions and advice ahead of the final preparation for the 2019 state budget.
The budget should look for the welfare of the common man, the market woman, the Okada riders, and the ordinary workers.
Devoting money or allocating money alone. Even the money they are devoting, they should be able to investigate and monitor that all these things are properly implemented.
Our salary now is about 9.1, 9.2 billion monthly. Of course, we are doing well. We are not owing our workers, I can say it anywhere. We are not owing our pensioners. We are owing gratuity. We are owing deduction. Those ones, we have said add everything together. 22, maybe 23 billion, all for 8 years, people should give it to us. So we will continue to drive the economy of Ogun State the way we are driving it. It is such now that it is now on autopilot.
The preparation of the 2019 budget continues as the executive arm collates the input before presenting to the House at a later date. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
We'll now take another break. We'll be back in just a moment.
What's up?
His friends didn't come.
Hey, let's practice.
But you're going out.
Don't worry about me.
Nothing satisfies a mother more than seeing a child grow up. But I know as he sweats, he'll face the risk of germs which can cause skin irritation.
That's why you need the new best ever Dettol Cool. Its new advanced formulation with extra menthol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs and gives your family icy cool freshness.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, has pledged its maximum support for the forthcoming maiden anti-corruption half marathon scheduled for Abuja first week of December. The pledge was made when organizers of the anti-corruption half marathon visited NTA. Tamara Ebiwe reports.
Welcoming the visitors to NTA Thursday, Executive Director, Administration and Training, Steve Egbo, said the fight against corruption is one of the cardinal points of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Egbo commended the initiative by the organizers to campaign against corruption through sports, pledging that the NTA will provide adequate coverage for the forthcoming maiden anti-corruption half marathon.
NTA is a national institution. We represent the voice of this country. We carry the image of Nigeria. We work with you each step of the way. Our door will remain open.
The main organizing committee for the half marathon expressed belief that the partnership with the NTA will drive home the message of the initiative, which is to become an annual event.
We look at it as a national project that every one of us in Nigeria have to do his own best.
In Abuja, Tamara Ebiwe, NTA News.
A special prayer session has been held for the repose of the soul of former Chief Justice Idris Kutigi in Bida. The prayer session, which was at the instance of the Etsunupe and Chairman Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers Alhaji Yahya Abubakar, took place at the Wadata Plaza, Bida. Jones Ajayi reports.
The chief imam of Bidda, Sheikh Adamu Yakatun, led other Islamic scholars in the special prayer session for the repose of the soul of late Justice Idris Lebo Kutigi. Sheikh Adamu Yakatun prayed Allah to grant the immediate family of the late jurist, the Etsunupi Alhaji Yahya Abubakar, and all others he left behind the fortitude to bear the loss. Etsunupi Yahya Abubakar said the late Chief Justice of Nigeria, who rose to the pinnacle of his profession, was committed to duty and always wanted the rule of law to prevail. Etu Yahya Abubakar specifically thanked President Muhammadu Buhari for his support and all those who contributed to the burial.
He doesn't miss words, he doesn't hide his feeling. Very simple person. We definitely will miss him.
From a far distance, you would think that he was a difficult person. But I tell you, he was one of the simplest persons you can ever see.
Similar.
And that's it on NTA Network News. We thank you for watching from all of us here. It's good night.